What if I told you the biggest threat to Canada's economy isn't inflation? It isn't interest rates, isn't even the housing crisis, but a prime minister who's finally admitted the math doesn't work, while still pretending he can fix it with the same tools that broke it. Hey friends, Vince Gaetano here from OwlMortgage.ca, and today we're diving into Mark Carney's first federal budget, a document that promises stability, affordability, and economic renewal, while admittingly, quietly, that Canada is running on fumes. And if you read between the lines, and trust me, reading the latest economic reports, you'll see the real story. Canada is slowing, households are strained, and the housing system is hanging on duct tape and a prayer. Let's get into it. For the first time in years, Ottawa has said the quiet part out loud. We can't handle the population growth we engineered. Prime Minister Carney's first budget sharply reduces immigration and population targets because the labor market, housing supply, and infrastructure simply can't keep up. I'm sure Carney gave a side eye to Sean Fraser and Mark Miller, who ran the immigration department under Trudeau, in the latest caucus meetings. This is the political version of going into the gym January 1st, hoping to start losing weight, but just not right now. Let's be clear. Housing starts are down. Construction workers are being laid off. Consumer confidence is at its lowest point. Student visas have been abused by the hundreds of thousands, and Canada learned the truth. You can't bring 1.25 million people a year into the country with a housing system that could barely house 250,000. This lower target is not a strategy. It's surrender. Carney, to his credit, has been transparent. Our productivity is a crisis. Our housing is a crisis. Our growth strategy isn't working. But here's the kicker. He inherited a mess and then doubled down on density without solving financing. The Housing Accelerator Fund pushes cities to build more fourplexes, build more garden and laneway suites, build more secondary units. But banks, regulated by OSFI, still refuse to count the value of these units in appraisals. They refuse to count rental income fully from these new suites in underwriting. And they refuse to finance them at prime rates, which is what is required to make them carry. So homeowners are forced into private mortgages at considerably higher rates and alternative lenders that are more expensive with brutal fees, shorter terms, and high-stress financial traps. Carney knows this. He warned about temporary foreign worker dependency and housing distortion when he was at the Bank of Canada in 2013. What are we doing a decade later? We're building policy in Ottawa that dies at the bank manager desk in your local bank branch. Let's talk interest rates. Yes, the Bank of Canada has cut 8 times since June 2024, and the 9th is likely coming soon. But here's the truth. Rate cuts don't save a stressed household. They only buy time. According to several banking and industry economic reports, debt service ratios remain near historic highs. Interest payments are still taking a massive share of disposable income. Growth in real wages? Zero. Household spending is shrinking. Insolvencies are rising. Rate cuts are not a cure. They're a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. The market is cheering for rate cuts. Homeowners are desperate for rate cuts. But unless incomes rise, productivity also rises, and housing costs fall, rate relief won't fix affordability. It'll just slow the bleeding. The data is brutally honest. Job creation is soft. Full-time work is shrinking. Youth unemployment is rising. Business investment is at a standstill. And productivity is below OECD peers. Carney's budget tries to stimulate growth through climate transition spending, infrastructure commitments, tech and innovative programs. But Canada has a fundamental economic math problem. we're spending more than we earned. We are borrowing more than we produce. We rely on population growth to disguise productivity failure. That happened throughout the Trudeau government. Cutting immigration targets exposes the truth. Our economy is not growing organically. It's expanding artificially. And the moment the population steroid gets reduced, the weakness shows. Here's the uncomfortable truth I told the senators during my visit to Ottawa, and it applies perfectly to Carney's budget. Canada does not have an affordability problem. It has an alignment problem. Policies don't talk to each other. Housing programs don't match lending rules. Municipal taxes don't match the services delivered. Immigration goals don't match infrastructure capacity. Electing politicians to govern properly and work together has been a major problem that needs fixing. Canada is at a fork in the road. Path A, real reform, fix zoning, fix financing rules, cut red tape, align policies, and kickstart productivity. Or Path B, more band-aids, subsidies, grants, slogans, and short-term patches. Carney's first budget leans somewhere in the middle. Not catastrophic and not courageous. So here's my message to Canadians. If you think a rate cut is going to fix affordability, it won't. If you think reducing population targets will magically free up housing, it won't. If you think a new budget can repair 20 years of dysfunction, it won't. Canada needs structural change, not political theater. And until OSFI, CMHC, provinces, and municipalities share one strategy, which is work together and execute a plan, Canadian families will keep paying the price for government misalignment. If you're a homeowner, a home buyer, or a Canadian trying to navigate this mess, you need clarity and a plan, not politicians' promises. So, drop your questions below. Share this with someone house hunting in 2026. Like and subscribe because we're going to expose every policy that hurts Canadian families. And if you need mortgage advice, OwlMortgage is here to guide you through the storm. This is Vince Gaetano, and Canada, we need to wake up.